Hello and welcome. I'm Ula, and in this video, we question whether private and public schools raise education inequality. We're currently conducting a project to find equality through the voices of tomorrow, and today we'd like to invite you to think about education inequality and whether you might have witnessed or been impacted by it. When you look in detail at the connections between society, school, and education, you will likely realize that they are closely interlinked. So much so that education systems in many countries around the world may have an impact on education inequality through the existence of private and government schools. Now, while we have found out this is not the case in every country, where in some countries the public school systems hold really strong, we'd like to take a deeper look into this issue and how students' social economic backgrounds impact their long-term education in today's society. So, we'd like to look at what the difference between private and public education is. Private education consists of schools that are administered independently of any government and can only be attended by students whose parents can afford their high fees. Their application process may filter some students, and they have freedom in creating programs and curriculum because they're not connected to any government. Public education, on the other hand, is administered and funded in whole or part by the state or government, so our tax money. This means that education is open to all students, which is a big benefit of public education. However, they do have to follow district and national policies, which can be a good thing because it means that it is standardized across the country, or it could mean that they are slower in responding to educational changes. But let's take a deeper look into these differences.
Hi everyone, Cassandra here. Now let me give you a general view of the difference between private and public schools. So firstly, it's the cost. Private schools cost up to 250 times more than public schools. And this results in the implication where private schools are able to adapt more easily to the changing economy and have a quicker access to new technologies, while public schools will have a much slower response to the change and it becomes less adaptable. And in terms of the class size, private schools tend to have a much smaller class size as compared to public schools, and it differs in the curriculum as well. Private school tends to focus on developing children holistically, where they teach them soft skills, critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, while public schools have a strong emphasis on academic success, where they want their students to pass subjects like maths and science. Next, there has been some questions that has been raised about the inequality in education, and here are some questions. Does private education provide more opportunities? Since private school teachers are paid more, could we argue that they offer higher quality services? Students adapt individually to different schooling environment. Is it fair to charge them differently based on their education needs? And what if public schools perform better? Would private schools be necessary? If private schools were to pay higher taxes, it could lower inequality. What's your view? And shouldn't every child be given equal opportunities regardless of their parents' financial status? Next, in conclusion, both public and private schools has their own advantages. Public schools have an advantage to access education at civilian price, while private schools would have an advantage in high quality resources. Therefore, we want to raise awareness and question whether the public-private schools divide is raising inequality in the society today. With that, thank you so much for listening. Now we'd love to hear from you. What do you think?